Hello, and welcome to Allegheny County Library's Let's Get Lit. This is where we talk about exciting titles so you, our patrons, can know what to read next. We will be talking about hot new titles to the library and also still burning titles, which may be older but are ones we have loved. Let's Get Lit is available in video format on the ACLS YouTube as well as in podcast format on Apple, Google, and Spotify, so you can subscribe for updates when we release new episodes. Let's Get Lit will be bi-monthly, and we would love your feedback as we do this. Contact information will be in the description as well as at the end of the episode. Any titles mentioned will have links to our catalog in the description as well. Now, let's get lit.
I'm Arlene.
I'm Laura,
I'm Tuare.
who was gracious enough to sit in with us today because our other contributors, well, one is Scrooge and refused to film for Christmas. And
Guess who?
Guess who? And the other is off. So T graciously agreed to film with us today. Nobody else would take on the challenge.
Anyway, today's episode, we are going to be doing a little bit of a holiday episode, but it is quite vague. There'll be some holiday titles mixed in, but probably a mixture of other things as well. So there's a little something for everyone here. If you were to gift a title to someone, what would it be? Like the most ideal title to give someone?
Well, mine would be anything by Jonathan Franzen or Franzen. I don't know the official.
You've been on a kick with him this year.
I've been on, yes, I really like him because he writes the human condition and the family condition and conflict better than any author I've ever read. His books are no small undertaking. I think the shortest one was like 600 pages.
Oh my God.
But so anything by Jonathan Franzen, I would gift the world. If you haven't read him, I would start with the corrections, but any of his stuff is good. So that's what I would gift. How about you, T?
I would go with Colson Whitehead, and I enjoy his unique spin on historical events. It's kind of a weird ride with historical fiction.
Uh-huh.
He can go the sci-fi route, he can go the crime route, and I just think his books the endings have kind of a good surprise, maybe.
Yeah.
And you also think.
You do. It does make you think.
It makes you think about things.
I really like alternative, like history type things,
Yes.
like
Yes.
things like that. And then when they add in a mixture of like some other element.
And that's what I enjoy about his books.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do start with him, I'll start with the Nickel Boys.
Well, I tend to go for a more, I guess, natural. This is actually a children's book, but I read it and thoroughly enjoyed it. And it's How to Be a Good Creature. Why are you laughing?
I wasn't. Once again, I have something in my eye.
Okay, but it's How to Be a Good Creature by Cy Montgomery, who is a naturalist. She's an adventurist, and this book just feels like a bear hug. And it is told through 13 different animals that she interacts with, and it is just...
Oh, that's an interesting concept.
Some of them are her pets, but some of them are wild animals that she has just like observed and researched. There's a story in there about an octopus that is just absolutely fascinating. But I love learning about animals, and this was great too because it's also kind of a story about grief. And I think anyone who's ever had a pet that has passed knows that grief it's a little different, and not everyone always understands.
It's unlike anything else.
Yeah, and this kind of talks about that in a way, and it's very forward. Like, she's very forward with her feelings about how losing her pets has made her feel, but also how each pet she's had has been so different, and how they've made her a better person, and different characteristics that she's learned from other animals.
And don't ever let anyone shame you if you want to grieve your pet. You grieve your pet.
Yeah. So it's
one of my pet peeves.
Fantastic. It's good too because it is a kid's book.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like too over the top, and it's not too bogged down in details, but there's also beautiful illustrations in it as well. So it's really nice. It also is just beautiful to look at. So if you just want like a display book,
I'm gonna unroll my eye now.
It's a really good book. I read
it.
It sounds lovely. It sounds
so
good.
It sounds lovely.
And I almost did a children's book myself.
Yeah.
And it was called This Is How We Celebrate, and it was different holidays from around the world in different cultures.
Which is good for
Everyone.
someone like me and everyone, to learn about other people's cultures.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the same vein, what book would you love to receive as a gift?
I would love to receive the fancy new extended version of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. It's the hardback edition. We are getting it in the system, I've been told, but it has like extra things and pictures, supposedly, and sites about filming. So I would like to receive, and listening,
another mention of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Who would have guessed?
I guarantee you that if Scrooge was here filming with us today, he would have mentioned that.
He probably would have.
You can't get too much Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You can't get too much Tarantino.
Okay.
I gotta admit, I really enjoy it.
That can be on my tombstone.
Okay.
I'm a big Tarantino fan.
Go ahead, Allie. You can put it on my tombstone. So yes, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the new fancy extended version. If anybody's
You're not going
listening,
to ask for a signed version.
listen. I'm trying not to. I feel like I've just cosmically scared Stephen King away. So I'm trying to not do the same thing with Mike Clinton. And I want
You
him.
could still ask for a signed version. You're not going to hunt him down.
Please, my friends and family members are cheapskates. They're not getting me a signed copy of anything. So no. But yes, I mean, that would be nice, but that's not going to happen. T, how about you?
Well, I'm going for the gusto and asking for signed copies.
Our friends and family members are not cheap.
Well, I was just thinking, we're asking.
Thanks for shaming my loved ones.
And it's a twofer.
Okay.
I would like first edition signed copies of Truman Capote's In Cold Blood and Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Oh, my.
He is such a tragic figure.
Knock it out of the
Obsessed
ballpark,
with
T. Excellent.
And so, I even watch old Dick Cavett when he's on there.
Such an interesting fellow.
Yes. So those I would like to see.
A poisonous, interesting, tragic fellow.
Well, I feel like In Cold Blood is kind of it was like an extended version of those true crime magazines from the 40s and 50s. It was like voyeurism, like you had really not seen in print.
It was amazing.
It was. And so I feel like In Cold Blood is like the forensic files of literature.
Did you watch those two movies?
I did.
Did you like those? Capote and
I loved
what was
Capote.
the other one? There was two.
And
One was Capote. They came out like at the same time.
I watched Capote. I did not watch the other one.
The Capote was Philip Seymour Hoffman,
Yes.
right? It was that knocked it out of the park
Yeah.
too. But I can't remember the other one. But there's two that came out kind of
They
at the
were.
same time.
And I think the other one didn't get the reviews.
Yeah,
that
clearly
Capote
because
got.
we can't
Right.
remember. I know there was two.
And I meant to go back and watch it, and I just never made it there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll have to do that a project too, so we can watch that. 'Cause
And
I
then
can't
on
think of
that
things.
note, the film versions of In Cold Blood fall far short of the book.
It does. I agree.
Every version they've ever made.
I agree.
I thought about doing the first edition signed with Fight Club,
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
but I went a little lower on the pay scale there. There is this store called Folio Society, and they do a lot of really beautiful
Is this going to
exclusive-
involve Shakespeare?
No.
Okay.
It involves a lot of really, now that I think about it, but they have these really beautiful editions that they make of different types of books, a lot of classics, but there's one on there called The Diversity of Life by Edward O. Wilson, and it's just about, variety and diversity in Earth's creatures and ecosystems and stuff, but the actual book is stunning. It is definitely a display book. It has pictures and stuff inside, which I probably look at, and it sounds interesting. But for the most part, it has butterflies and moths all over it, but it's also iridescent.
So is this
Beautiful.
a company that they just do this? They make really pretty volumes of different work.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and a lot of them look like really old school, like classic type books,
Wow.
the leather bound and stuff.
Okay.
But this one is just beautiful because it's just got these butterflies and moths all over it, and when you move it, it's iridescent and shimmers and stuff. So I'm like, I just want it displayed on a shelf and just stare at it all day. And it comes in at a whopping $90. So would I buy it for myself? No. would I ask for it? Yes.
Yes, that's a reasonable ask for a gift.
I think
Yeah.
so too.
Yeah. But
It's still under $100.
Yeah.
well, yeah. But I mean, for like one book, just because it's pretty.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay that for a book unless it
Yeah,
really
how
was.
often have we purchased something just because it's
This
pretty?
is true. I own a lot of books just because they're pretty, to be
I
fair.
was gonna say you don't have any room on your shelf for any more pretty
Well,
books.
this is the thing. Yeah, but I love all the natural with the animals and stuff. Like,
You
I
do.
love those, to have those displayed because they're just pretty.
Like that really pretty book with the mermaids that Allie and I talked about, and then she hid in her bag, and I looked for on the shelves for 4 days.
I was like, I don't think I
By
got
the end of the 4th day, I was literally on the verge of a nervous breakdown because we had literally just talked. It literally held it in my hand. And then, oh, it's in my bag.
I'm like a crow. I like shiny things. Or is it ravens? Is it crows that like shiny things?
Well, they're
I think,
they're-
yeah, they hoard them. I
Yeah.
don't know. Oh, I don't know, crows or ravens. Ooh, I don't know. Anyway,
One
the
of those
moral
big
of the
black
story
birds that like
is
shiny things.
that at the end of the 4th day,
Oh my
I was
gosh.
about to fall out. It was a mess.
Well, I have the rise and the fall of the dinosaurs on display. I have-
dinosaurs one more time.
I have spiders of North America on display.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give you a hard pass on that one.
I'm just pretending this isn't happening.
It's one of my favorite books. It was also an expensive book. So, anyway, for any weirdos in your family, I have the gift. Oh. Okay, must watch holiday media. And I will say we probably have a lot of repeats because there's just a lot of classics.
Since I just talked, I can't answer this question without saying, please watch A Christmas Carol if you haven't. Just don't watch a dumb version. Watch George C. Scott or the Patrick Stewart, or my new fave. It's not more favorite than George C. Scott, but the FX version, Tom Hardy's version, The Christmas Carol. It's amazing. It's like a retelling. It's darker, but the ending of it, I still think about it. And so if you have not, it's not for the faint of heart. It is a dark version of A Christmas Carol, but it's amazing. And so if you have not watched it, please do. And then the 2015 version of Krampus. If you have not watched the 2015 version of Krampus, please do. It is actually an amazing and poignant, it shines a spotlight on the commercialism of Christmas, how you disregard the spirit of Christmas and how we have done so historically. It also has possessed gingerbread cookies that eat people. So we're all over the spectrum there. But I feel like that movie, when it first came out, didn't have a huge patron base, but it has grown in popularity because I think when people watch it, they're like, oh, this is not what I thought this was at all.
Definitely a cult classic. At
Yes.
this point.
There's whole festivals dedicated to
Well,
Krampus.
to Krampus, but to the movie
Yeah.
in America, I don't think it got, because I think people thought it was going to be something different from what it was.
Yeah.
It did have the scary, destructive element to it, but it was for a reason.
Well,
Krampus was definitely there to teach some lessons.
Yes.
I think people think it's going to be something else, and it's not.
Okay. No, the Krampus you're talking about, yeah, that's the great one.
Yes.
There was something called Krampus the Devil Returns that came out
You never seen
in
that?
2016.
Oh, yeah, never seen that one.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, it was a little bit cheesy, so I'm gonna say
We're gonna pass on
So
that.
the 2015, is it 2015?
Mhm.
2015
That's
Krampus. Please do, give it a try.
Don't
And it's for the
continue.
family. It's for the entire family. It's not just, it's not going to shock any kids. What do you got, T? I know you got a lot.
I do. So I really like classic films.
Mhm.
So some of my favorites from everybody loves It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart. I've seen that too many times.
It has been played
It
out a
has.
bit.
If you're looking for a Christmassy movie with Jimmy Stewart, I'm going to recommend The Shop Around the Corner. It's from 1947. It's him and Margaret Sullivan.
Okay.
And it's a really zippy rom-com set in a small shop.
She'll be all over that.
Rom-com, you say?
Yes.
Yes, it's smart. The pacing is really good. The ensemble cast is lovely. It's a perfect film for me.
Okay. I love me a good rom-com.
She'll be streaming it in 15 minutes.
I have another one for you from 1940. It's called It Happened on Fifth Avenue. And it's about a band of homeless people who set up residence in mansions in the winter because the people go away for the holidays.
Oh, they travel.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so cute.
It sounds cute.
It is. And one of the residents comes home, but she just pretends to be homeless with them and is having holidays.
Does she fall in love with someone?
She does.
Allie, she falls in love with someone.
Again, really cute film.
Oh, it sounds
It's funny. Yeah. I think everybody can enjoy this.
Yeah.
I'll top it off with The Bishop's Wife with Cary Grant.
Now that one I have.
Yes. But you must follow it up with The Preacher's Wife with Denzel Washington.
Agreed.
The original and the remake, the casting was so well paired. And even though the updated version, it's the updated version, the spirit of the movie remains true.
Very complimentary.
It is.
I agree.
It's very too complimentary.
They're both lovely.
Wow, I get made fun of for my Christmas pick every year.
Is this Jingle Tones again?
It's the Mistletones, which is just a really good time. It's not like the most.
I don't know if that's
It's not the greatest production of all time, but it's just a good time. But I thought instead of like listing off, like I'll watch Elf every year and I'll watch The Grinch every year.
Cool.
Year Without a Santa Claus is my all-time favorite, but I have a list of movies that I want to see that are newer releases that I just haven't gotten around to.
Are these Christmas themed?
Yeah, so The Last Christmas, which I've heard is like devastating, though is very sad.
Is that based on the song? Isn't there a Christmas Carol?
It is kind of based on the song, yeah, but don't ask me the actual details of it. I don't know.
That's the one with Harry Golding?
Yes.
We actually have that on display
I have never heard.
Yes, well, it came out, I think, 2 years ago.
There's no large goats dressed as Santa in it, so.
No.
It doesn't meet my requirements.
It came out like 2 years ago, and I've heard that it's kind of heart-wrenching, so I've
avoided it.
Avoided it.
Oh, wait a second. Is Khaleesi in that? The girl
Yes,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the plot.
Yeah, I don't know actors and actresses.
And I'm not going to watch it, but you should.
So there's that, and then Jingle Jangle came out last year and it received fantastic reviews.
From whom? Whom gave Jingle Jangle?
Fantastic reviews last year.
Did you see her face?
Laura was going to be like, no.
I'm sorry, but the name, Jingle Jangle.
It's about like a toy store.
Oh, that makes it better.
Like a toy maker and stuff.
Jingle Jangle.
Oh, with Forrest Whitaker.
Sure.
Everybody is talking about that because it popped up and was like, you need to watch this. And I'm like, why? Jingle. Now, I'm going to side with Allie on this one. I'm going to watch Jingle Jangle.
Well, I guess I have to watch it now, too.
It came out last year,
and
all the reviewers that I watch were like, you have to watch this. It's so underrated. Like, no one is talking about
sad? I can't do...
It wasn't sad. I don't think it was sad.
Okay, because
it looked very upbeat.
Because you've already said a sad one. I can't.
Oh, God. Well, then the last one is A Boy Called Christmas. This comes out, I think, this year, and it's based on a children's book.
Okay.
So...
That also sounds like it might be sad.
I honestly don't know the premise. The children's book is really loved.
You know what song I just will not listen to anymore at Christmas time is the one about the kid buying his mom the Christmas shoes. I cannot do the Christmas shoes. I will not.
Can you sing it for me?
I cannot sing it for you. But
I don't think I know that.
The little boy's mom is ill and she's dying, and it's Christmas Eve, and they're really poor. I'm taking
and he buys these red shoes
for her. This gentleman in line hears the little boy saying, "Could I have these shoes for my mom? Could I pay you what I have now?" So I think the gentleman in line buys the shoes. It's terrible. It's lovely, but I can't do it.
Well, that song. broke my heart.
Yes, like the first time you hear it, you're just like driving and weeping.
Yeah.
And it's just like the tip most,
I was just like, why? Why are we doing
why?
this right
No,
now?
we're not doing it. I can't do it. When it came on the other day when I was in the drive-thru, because I'm always in a drive-thru for food, and I was just like, nope. Turned on some Neil Diamond. Can't do it.
Get along from the trauma.
Okay, please.
Your go-to holiday season book recommendation.
Wow. Of course, A Christmas Carol. If you have not read this book, or I don't even say, you can listen to it, you can read it, you can watch a play, you can watch a production, please, with your family or solo, please. A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. You will never go wrong. But a little more things differently from A Christmas Carol, that's all I talk about. I'm currently reading a book called Come With Me by Ronald Malfi. And it takes place, it starts at Christmas, but it's a supernatural thriller. And this gentleman's wife, who's a reporter, goes to a shopping plaza in Annapolis. They actually live in Annapolis. So she goes there, and there's actually like one of those mass shootings, and she's killed. So as her husband's grieving, he's going through her belongings, and he sees all this stuff that he doesn't recognize. And apparently, her sister was killed by a serial killer when they were in high school, and she's been tracking this guy down for years. So the husband, to work out his grief, goes on this journey to try to solve this case. So it starts with Christmas, and the title is because the last sentence she said, which is a little sad, but the last sentence she says to him is, "Will you come with me?"
Yeah.
Like meaning to the shopping plaza, and he says no because he's wrapping her Christmas present.
Yeah.
So that is technically a Christmas read. So we do have that. It's excellent. And then a second title that I really like is called A Holiday for Murder. That's by Agatha Christie. It's her. I think her only Christmas or holiday related. She does a Halloween one, but to me, Agatha Christie is kind of as cozy as I get. So I find anything by Agatha Christie to be cozy and comforting. So, but it's called A Holiday Murder. And then Mr. Timothy by Louis Bayard. Louis Bayard's one of my favorite authors. He does alternative history. He did The Pale Blue Eye with Poe, and he does one about the last Dauphin of France. He did Courting Mr. Lincoln is probably the one that everybody knows. But Mr. Timothy is about Timothy Cratchit grown up. And it's his perspective on Scrooge's reformation. It's in Victorian England, so there's all kind of craziness going on. But the way that he kind of describes it is that, yes, it was beneficial for him when Scrooge had this reformation because he was able then to walk and things. But it's just creepy that this old dude's house is like decorated for Christmas all the time, and the Cratchits are kind of beholden to him. They have to go like ask for money, and so it's just really interesting to like hear the Cratchit story played out, and kind of Scrooge is a creepy weirdo because you never think about like
I've always thought Scrooge was a creepy weirdo.
what's wrong with both of you? But like, you know, his house decorated for Christmas all the time, and like the way they describe it is like all the Christmas stuff is like nice, but it's all covered in dust. Okay, The Haunting Season, 8 Ghostly Tales for a Long Winter's Night. We have that one. I read it. It's excellent. It's short stories. You will have heard of the authors. It's various authors, and a lot of them take place during Christmas. And it kind of goes with the tradition of back in the day, they used to tell ghost stories in winter, like because it got dark so early. So that's fabulous. We have it. If you haven't read it, please do. And there's my list for the book recommendations.
I also had 7 Gothic Tales, which we also have here at the library. Again, short stories, Victorian era.
Because it's so good.
It's so good. And if you have a fire going or you guys just hanging out, you can share it.
Well, it's also a busy season, so to sit down with just read a quick
short
story and feeling accomplished.
Yeah.
With it. Yeah.
I'm also going to go with The Night Before Christmas by Clark Clement Moore. It's still my favorite. The kids love it. Everybody knows it.
They do,
it's
yeah.
very familiar and comforting thing during the season. And, you know, everybody can pick apart and read from it.
Yes.
So I enjoy that. One more is Nosferatu by Joe Hill. Only thing
Traumatizing.
one is kidnapping children, Christmas time.
Yes.
Yeah, I went to a book con.
Fantastic heroine.
Yes.
I went to a book con and they had a display for that, and it was just a bunch of Christmas trees everywhere. But this was in the middle of June, so we were like, "What is going on?"
I mean, that's pretty much the way you start to move the book out and
Yeah.
go through the whole thing.
Yeah.
You can tell he is the son of my Stephen.
Yes, you can.
Okay. I don't think I found a perfect holiday book for me. I have two that I want to read this year that I've seen good things about. The Christmas Swap is a romance, comedy romance type thing, and it's about twin sisters who swap places during the Christmas time. And of course, they meet people, and when you swap lives, things get a little messy. But I've been seeing really good things about it. Taylor Jenkins Reid actually blurbed it, which I thought was interesting.
Okay.
Because that doesn't seem like her normal jam.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, And then a horror is Secret Santa, and this is about a woman in the office. And this has apparently been blurbed as being a mix of The Office. But it's a woman in the office who gets gifted a demonic doll for Christmas in the Secret Santa. And then things start happening in the office.
Wait, what genre is it?
It's horror.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What else would it be with a demonic doll?
Well, I mean, but is it YA? Is it
I don't
adult?
think so.
Is
I think it's adult.
adult?
Yeah.
Huh.
But I would say just winter time. One of my favorite reads that takes place in the snow is One by One by Ruth Ware. Very kind
Very
of
tense
slow.
last couple chapters.
A bit of a slow build up, and then those last few chapters, my heart was racing.
I was so tense by the end of that because I was this is how I was, and my neck hurt, my shoulders hurt, because it is kind of slow building up, and you're like, what's happening here? And then boy does it take off.
Yeah, and it's a company retreat out in the middle of this lodge, and they get snowed in, and then people are getting murdered one by one.
Naturally, as it happens,
Where the title comes from.
I kind of think that falls into the vein of wishful thinking.
Well, especially her, because
you're not wrong.
she has left this place for some reason, and you don't know why.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
then you're like, it could be her. So then the last thing, anything we're excited about coming out. A History of Wild Places by Shay Earnshaw. And this sounded a lot like the movie The Village.
Oh, I put that on
Yes.
hold. I put that on hold.
It
Yes.
sounds so
I'm looking for
good.
it.
There's a woman that disappears, and we're following a private investigator. And way back, there was this cult that started on this island, and it's not supposed to exist anymore. He goes to this island, investigate, and then he disappears. So then it's years later, and we follow someone that is in this private community. And they've been told that they can't, no outsiders are allowed in, things like that. They might get a disease from the outsiders. So he's very confused when he comes across the remaining vehicle and stuff of this investigator that had been there. So then him and his family secretly work out to figure out what the heck is going on in their community. And it sounds very much like The Village. Some other ones that people might be interested in, these are just big name authors. I don't know anything about these books, but Nora Roberts has The Becoming. James Patterson has City of the Dead.
Of course he does.
The Defense Lawyer, and Fear No Evil.
I cannot.
Becoming and Fear No Evil are on our Lucky Day shelf right now.
Okay. Then Danielle Steele has Flying Angels, and Debbie McComber has Winter Weddings. So,
Well, yes, all those authors have huge following, and I would say we will probably be getting them from the Lucky Day collection first.
Yes.
Would be my
So-
guess.
I have 3
Stop it.
copies of Fear No Evil.
Okay,
Oh.
if you want Fear No Evil, T has it.
I was going to say, come in, check the Lucky Day shelves, because that's where the books.
Honestly, go straight there before you go to the new area because they are new, and I myself have sprinted across the library upon seeing a title that I have on hold.
Yeah.
And I'm 10 back on hold, but it's right there.
Yeah.
So please come and see our Lucky Day collection. All the branches have them, and they're amazing.
Yes, please do.
And if you don't know where to find them in the Washington Street Library,
Just ask
will
the search desk.
yes, and all the branches. And you will be happy that we told you about this because the Lucky Day is it's amazing for our constant readers.
There are audiobooks and DVDs also on our Lucky Day shelf.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching or listening wherever you are, and happy holidays, and we will see you in the next one.
T, thank you for sitting in.
Thank you for
Happy
inviting me.
holidays, Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us for Let's Get Lit. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes. If you have any questions, suggestions, or want recommendations, please contact us either in the comments section, by giving us a call, or by emailing us at letsgetlit@AlleghenyCountyLibrary.info.